that I put together for service today. Please be aware that we are recording this service and it will be posted to the YouTube page, but for privacy, we don't record during joys and concerns. Here at the Mavi Valley Unitarian Universalist congregation, our goal is to provide a welcoming space for people to come together and experience religious freedom, to find a community, grow spiritually, and explore ways to make a difference in the lives of others. We draw from a wide variety of resources to provide thought-provoking and inspirational Sunday services. We encourage you to attend several services to gain a good understanding of what we're all about here. For further news, please remember to read the weekly email, which provides a comprehensive list of everything that's going on here at the church. Visitors, if you would like to start receiving the weekly email, make sure to fill out one of the blue cards that's in the seat back pockets and put it in the box on the greeter's table. Take a second and say hi to your neighbors. The chalice today will be lit by Buffy. Please join me in reading the words that are provided for you as we light the chalice. This is an original responsive reading that I wrote for this service. I will read the bold. Please respond with the italics. For each morning the sun rises, and each night when she sets, no matter where we go, there we are. For each memory we get to make, for better or for worse, no matter where we go, there we are. For all of the earth's beauty and all of her suffering, no matter where we go, there we are. For every wave that rises and every one that crests, no matter where we go, there we are. For each time the path twists unexpectedly, no matter where we go, there we are. Whether we are together in this place of worship or simply here in spirit, no matter where we go, there we are. Come, let us worship together. Now is the time for sharing of joys and concerns. Tina, if you could stop recording at this time. Here at MVUUC, we use the elements of... So on this we mourn and we mend. Like light, we can't be broken, even when we bend. As one, we will defeat both despair and disease. We stand with healthcare workers and all employees, with families, libraries, waiters, schools, artists, businesses, restaurants, and hospitals hit hardest. We ignite not in the light, but in lack thereof. For it is in loss that we truly learn to love. In this chaos, we will discover clarity. In suffering, we must find solidarity. For it's our grief that gives us our gratitude, shows us how to find hope if we ever lose it. So ensure that this ache wasn't endured in vain. Do not ignore the pain. Give it purpose. Use it. Read children's books, dance alone to DJ music. Know that this distance will make our hearts grow fonder. From these waves of woes, our world will emerge stronger. We'll observe how the burdens braved by humankind are also the moments that make us humans kind. Let each morning find us courageous, brought closer, heeding the light before the fight is over. When this ends, we'll smile sweetly, finally seeing, in testing times, we become the best of beings. Now the meat of service today. Admittedly, this is a bit of a first for me. While I have given a service at this church before, this is the first service and sermon that I have planned top to bottom all by myself. So wish me luck. I've been ruminating on this idea for months, and it came from thinking about the fourth Unitarian Universalist principle of a free and responsible church search for truth and meaning. That's how the UUA defines it anyway. Both as a collective and as individuals, we in the body of Unitarian Universalists inherently encourage those who participate to be curious. And one facet of curiosity I am the most familiar with is the fact that it often takes you somewhere you never expected to go. Which leads me to this question. Tina, can you change slides? How many people have heard of the adventures of Buckaroo Banzai across the eighth dimension? Wow, that's a lot more than I was expecting. That's great. That's awesome. So for those who are unfamiliar, this is a science fiction film that came out in 1984. It follows the story of Buckaroo Banzai, and yes, Buckaroo is his real first name. He's a neurosurgeon and scientist by day and a musician/alien expert by night. He has a band, the Hong Kong Cavaliers, and they are with him through every step of the way, be it wacky science experiments, fighting aliens, or late night gigs playing together. Now, what does this have to do with the fourth principle, other than the fact that the Venn diagram of fans of science fiction and Unitarian Universalists is more often than not a circle? There's a point in the movie where Buckaroo and his band are playing at this random club in New Jersey, and Buckaroo spots a woman crying in the crowd. He stops the music to ask her why she's upset. She's tearfully explaining how she's down on her luck, and the crowd is impatiently waiting for the music to start again. But it's at that point that Buckaroo says, "Don't be mean. We don't have to be mean, because no matter where you go, there you are." He then goes on to play a ballad for her, and the film goes on from there. I won't spoil it in case you're curious to seek it out and watch it on your own. The first time I heard this sentiment was not from this movie, but from my father. It was one of those pieces of hick wisdom I got from him in his Arkansas drawl over the course of my growing up. I can't, for the life of me, remember how old I was when I first heard it, but I was old enough that I was taking every sentiment like that I heard in a very literal sense. So yes, if you take 5 steps to the left of where you're currently standing, you are now 5 steps further to the left than you were before, and so on. So naturally, when I heard this initially, I was like, oh yeah, sure, Dad. But there was something about the idea, and it could have been that I heard it from him pretty frequently. It stuck with me as I grew up. I was born and raised in Houston, Texas, one of Texas's few blue dots, but filled with Southern sentiment all the same. As previously mentioned, my dad was raised in Arkansas and would say things to me as a child that always sounded pretty silly. I didn't understand at the time just how right he was or how much I would take these sentiments to heart. At the time, it didn't matter that this was a quote from an 80s dad science fiction movie, or that there were other things that he would tell me that felt more like a parent telling me what to do than any kind of wisdom. But I suppose part of the journey of life is sifting through things like that. When I first watched this movie, I saw a commonality between myself and Buckaroo. We're both musicians, as previously exhibited. When I was 3, I did the thing that most children that age start to do: ask for music lessons. A troupe of elementary-aged musicians came to my preschool to play for us, and I was so enamored with the violinists that I just had to do it too. So I asked, and asked, and asked. And over the course of about 3 weeks, my mother saw that this desire of mine to pursue music was not some fleeting childish want. It was coming from something deeper. So she found a school that would let me pursue it. And there, my lifelong love for music started. What I didn't quite understand when I picked up my violin for the first time was I was finding my lens through which I would understand the world. I firmly believe that there is a certain framework that everybody sees the world through, be it something physical like a sport, something creative, something tangible or not. Everyone seems to have one. And I found pretty early on that mine was music. Something else I didn't quite grasp when I first started playing violin was that in order to be good at something, you gotta be bad at it first. I was so frustrated with everything I didn't know and couldn't understand just yet. I feel like everybody's first step when they first start their search for truth and meaning, starts with a proclamation of here's what I know, which when you're starting out is usually not very much. And once you express what you know, suddenly this expanse of everything you have yet to learn is now placed in front of you. Exciting, right? When you're younger or just at the start of learning something new, it can be difficult to admit just how much there is that you don't know and how overwhelming it feels to look at it all. It's intimidating to look at the unknown and make the decision to embark on the journey anyway. One of the most frustrating and beautiful things is that at every stage of learning something new, at every stage of growth, you will meet a new version of yourself. One who is all the wiser and smarter for learning and experiencing new things. Because no matter where you go, there you are. Admittedly, this is the part that I've continued to struggle with as I've grown and continued to walk through life. As I've learned more and lived more, there have been certain things that have crossed my path that I wanted to shake or find some way to change, to shed the skin of the person I didn't feel like I was anymore. I spent most of my teen years jaded, afraid, and incredibly judgmental of everything that seemed to slip through my fingers. In those years, I wanted to know everything about everything, to not have to wait to find out what my future held. I wanted to hold it all in my hands right then because I was convinced I was ready for it. I wanted the answer to every problem, and I wanted it all right then and there. What I was frustratingly reminded of by my church mentor at the time was that there are some things that you know will work out because you live long enough to see the knot untangle. That the journey of where you go and what happens throughout your life is an ever-winding path, and you can't always see around the bend. That walking the path, even when you can't see the way in front of you, is necessary for us to grow, change, and find the meaning we are meant to live out in this life, because no matter where we go, there we are. In writing this reflection, I asked some friends of mine what they thought of when they heard this phrase, both in an effort to see what other kids my age thought, but also because there was a part of me that was worried I wouldn't have enough to say about it on my own. I found that not to be the case, but I wanted to share what they shared with me anyway. While a few of them mentioned very specific places, others said this idea reminded them of hope, staying in the present to focus on the now. One mentioned how this idea reminded them of the importance of showing up as yourself in any given situation as opposed to showing the reflection of what other people want from you. There was one comment in particular that reminded me of something in the context of science fiction that I hadn't thought of in a while. I don't have a graphic for this, but are we all familiar with Doctor Who? Cool. He's a time-traveling, crime-fighting, adventure-seeking, very kooky character who has fought more aliens than I can count and has had more incarnations than any human ever gets to have, because he's a Time Lord. He's an alien. Duh. Over the course of the show, the Doctor forms various friendships and relationships with different people and always seems to be running from something. The Doctor is very vague about what they're running from, but my friend summed it up pretty perfectly when they said, you carry whatever you are anywhere you go. You can't run from yourself. You have to face what you're dealing with head on because otherwise you're prolonging your own suffering. You're also not defined by the places you go. Regardless of the phase of life you're in, good or bad, your environment doesn't change the parts of you that traveled there. And that is something that the Doctor exhibits quite well. It's very clear that in every regeneration, there's a profound sense of sadness and loss that's juxtaposed with the joy and whimsy of seeking adventure. Which isn't to say you can't have both at the same time, because two truths can coexist. There can be terrible things that happen, but simultaneously events of great joy. The Doctor travels to all these incredible places and meets all kinds of people, but that sense of longing for a home, the ones the Doctor's lost, and the longing to stop running exists alongside all of that. I think the biggest part of the Doctor's journey, as well as most of our own in the real world, is learning how to live with the coexistence of the lightness and darkness that exists in life. As frustrating as it is, things are not quite as black and white as we'd like them to be. As we go on our search for our own meaning and truths, I think a pretty common occurrence is we find that certain aspects of life are not quite what we thought they would be. And as we walk further down the path with its ever-winding twists and turns, there are surprises and losses, new discoveries both for the better and the worse. Learning how to walk with the weight of each is not an easy thing, but living life to the fullest extent of its joys and sadness isn't an easy thing either. However, it is the brave thing and the necessary thing to learn how to hold both as you walk through life. It is the holding of life's miracles and tragedies at the same time that often offer a meaning or a kind of truth we never expected to find. Because no matter where we go, there we are. In service last week, it was said that change is one of the few constants we have. And I agree, but I want to add something to that. There is change, and there is also always you. The world will move as it does, ever changing, ever evolving as its inhabitants do. And as she changes, so do we. As we learn new things, have new experiences, meet new people, the world always looks a little different afterwards. And our lives are all the richer for it. And sometimes the changes are for the betterment of everyone, but sometimes they are to the detriment. But here we stand all the same. Because this life is ours to explore, to be curious, and to find whatever it is we are meant to. Because no matter where we go, there we are. Blessed be, and amen. Now let us pause to honor the silences of the world as we enter into a brief time of quiet reflection and meditation. You will hear a chime to begin, and you will hear a chime once we're done. Now let there be an offering to sustain and strengthen this church, which is important to so many of us. We gratefully dedicate this offering to the good of the church, the wider community, and to the rest of the world. If you make automatic pledge payments, please place one of the yellow cards indicating this support in the basket. If you want today's contribution to go to your annual pledge, please put it in an envelope with your name on it so we know who to credit it to. Our closing words today come from Jean Olson. From a poem called Go Boldly. May you be brave enough to expose your aching woundedness and reveal your vulnerability. May you speak your deepest truths, knowing that they will change as you do. May you sing the music within you, composing your own melody, playing your song with all of your heart. May you draw, paint, sculpt, and sew, showing the world your vision. May you write letters, poetry, biography, slogans, graffiti, the great novel, laying bare your words to love and hate. May you love even though your heart breaks again and again, and until the end of your days, may your life be filled with possibilities and courage. Now, if you would join me in reading the words provided as we extinguish the chalice. May the light around us guide our footsteps and hold us fast to the best and most righteous we seek. May the darkness around us nurture our dreams and give us rest so that we may give ourselves to the work of the world. Let us seek to remember the wholeness of our lives, the weaving of light and shadow in this great and astonishing dance in which we move. Before the closing hymn, we have time for a couple of announcements. So if you have any, come up to the podium and make them.
I'll have you know I have 3 announcements. I know, exciting. The first one is, of course, a little more enthusiasm next time. The blood drive! That's right, we're saving lives, got to be excited about it. August 16th, I'm happy to say I have all the volunteers I need. Yay! I could really use some donors, I'm just saying. Get those arms out, or make other people do it. Still looking for a little bit more food, but I'm feeling pretty confident about it. So tell everybody you know, please. My second announcement is about the food pantry. So I saw a post on one of the BG Facebook groups that said that the local pantry, Brown Bag, was out of food. Like they didn't have any food. So I want to remind people that we do have the shelf out there for donations, and Tina was kind enough to print off 2 things. A list of things that they say are most needed. You can get your own copy of the list if you want it. It's sitting outside on the music stand where the order of services are, in case you need ideas of what to get. And then also taped to the shelf where we keep the stuff is a list of their Amazon wish list, which they also have, in case you want to do it that way. But we're just encouraging people to try and remember to bring something. Potluck is sort of the designated big day where we ask people to do that, but really any Sunday you can bring it, and Buffy is kind enough to take the stuff over there for us, and let's try and fill up the shelves, shall we? And the last one is after potluck today, after you've filled your bellies, Noelle is asking people stay if they can and help set up for Hogwarts, which is coming up real soon, and it's a lot of work to get it set up. And so if you're available, she would appreciate it. You can just, like I said, stay after potluck and somebody will tell you what to do. Just ask Noelle and tell her that you're interested. Thanks.
So there's no service next week because...
Correct.
You'll just have to make your own service next week. Or you could go shopping and then have stuff to bring to the food pantry the next week. Which was the one thing that I was going to make an announcement about, was they literally are not going to be serving anyone tomorrow because they are out of food. Like, not just we're low, like they closed the pantry for tomorrow because Brown Bag Food Project had no food. And I don't know if any of you have ever been there, but they have a lot of shelves and there's usually a lot of food there. But when I drop stuff off there on Mondays at 4:30, I try to take it before they're actually servicing clients. Sometimes there's 17 to 20 cars lined up at 4:30 when they won't even start serving people till 5. So also take care of your neighbors. If you know any neighbors that maybe are struggling, if you don't want to just take them groceries, just say, hey, I made soup and I got too much, because that's the thing that is most fluid in people's budgets. The thing that they can cut back on the most is their grocery budget. And on a more happier note, next Saturday, I know we have Hogwarts happening here, but if you're not involved with that or you have some time before or after, there's a Peace Fest at out in White House at the Ordinary Pioneer. I put a little flyer up by the coffee thing last week. Everything is free. It's from 12 to 8. There's going to be a free community meal. I think it's at 5:30. But they're offering services on a kind of a mini drop-in basis. There's going to be some Reiki, some massage, tarot. There's music, there's poetry, there's dance, kids' activities. So wander out to White House. It's a really nice little community. And join the Peace Fest at Ordinary Pioneer. Thanks.
Hello, just real quick. I have an announcement as part of Social Action Committee. So as part of an initiative for Social Action Committee, I am encouraging folks to write postcards to their elected officials, and I've put together a very handy-dandy cheat sheet for contact information at the federal and state level for both Bowling Green and Toledo area folks to contact their representatives. Feel free to write a postcard about an issue that matters to you. I will collect all of the postcards and then send them out. So I will leave this out by the puzzle. So if you want to contact your elected officials about an issue that matters to you, here is their mailing addresses. We will provide postcards out by the puzzles, and we'll get that sorted. Thank you.
Do we have any from Zoom? Cool. Our closing hymn today is in your teal hymnal. It's number 1064, Blue Boat Home. And after we're done singing, please stay for coffee hour and potluck. So rise in body or in spirit, or you can sing sitting down. 1064.
Standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean, still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Sun, my sail, and moon, my rudder, as I ply the starry sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim souls, making our way by the lights of the heavens in our beautiful blue boat home. I give thanks to the waves upholding me, hail the great winds urging me on, greet the infinite sea before me, sing the sky my sailor's song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. The wide is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat. Home. Blue boat.
Blessed be. Happy Sunday.